Grand rising, my beautiful kings and queens. It's your girl Mel B, live here on Lux Radio Network. And this November 19th, which is Wednesday, we're spotlighting the brilliance of women who build, brand, and boss up. From boardrooms to boutiques, we're honoring the grind and the glow. So grab your planner, sip that tea, and let's get into these receipts, resources, and real talk. All right, our affirmation of the day is I am a visionary leader, building legacy with every move I make. I don't just work, I create impact. My ideas matter, my voice leads, and my brand reflects brilliance. I honor the women before me and pave the way for those rising behind me. All right, our word of the day is agency, the capacity to act independently and make your own choices. For usage, she reclaimed her agency by launching a brand that reflected her values. Women in business thrive when they own their own legacy and their own agency in decisions, direction, and destiny. All right, our urban slang word phrase of the day is she understood the assignment. She executed something flawless with style, precision, and impact. So this one's a salute to women who show up and show out. It's about excellence, strategy, and slaying your lane. All right, on to the news headlines for today. In New York, the city launched a new initiative to convert vacant office buildings into affordable housing. Mayor Adams announced a $1.5 billion investment in mental health services across boroughs. The MTA is piloting AI-powered subway safety systems to reduce delays and improve rider experience. In Los Angeles, LA County is expanding its guaranteed income pilot to include 2,000 more low-income housing for families. The City Council approved a $300 million plan for public schools and earthquake safety. Chicago, the city unveiled a new $250 million plan to modernize the O'Hare Airport. CPS announced a district-wide arts education expansion, adding music and theater programs to 100 schools. In Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia outspent neighboring states on public education, according to the new census data. The Atlanta powwow drew hundreds for 2 days of native dance, art, and storytelling. The Staying Alive crew, a local dance troupe, was selected to perform at SoFi Stadium in 2026. Houston, the University of Houston shut down a fraternity chapter after a hazing investigation. A new Galveston ordinance targets short-term rental disturbances with a 3-strike rule, and forensic genealogists are hoping to solve cold cases with DNA technology. Washington, D.C. AAA predicts over 82 million Americans will travel for Thanksgiving, with D.C. among the top destinations. Prince George's County introduced new bike lane protections to improve cyclist safety, and a bipartisan bill to release the Epstein files passed both chambers and awaits the president's signature. Miami. Housing instability is rising among seniors and families, prompting calls for expanded rental assistance. A new drone program aims to prevent school shootings in Broward County. Tampa. Tampa became the foreclosure epicenter of Florida, leading the nations in housing distress. Hillsborough County urged residents to avoid dumping cooking oil during the holidays to prevent sewer backups. Tarpon Springs. Good morning, Dad. The city leaders are exploring a shuttle service to boost tourism and connect downtown to the sponge docks. Permanent food truck regulations are under review for a successful pilot program. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Morning, Reed. Wisconsin Senate passed over 60 bills before the holiday recess, focusing on education and infrastructure. And Milwaukee's district primary care model is gaining transaction as an alternative to traditional health insurance. Jackson, Mississippi. A $59 million development in the Fordron neighborhood is being called a game changer for the city. And local restaurants are preparing pre-cooked Thanksgiving meals for pickup to support families in need. Vancouver, Premier David Eby unveiled a $200 billion economic growth plan focusing on life sciences, shipbuilding, and skilled training. Researchers documented wild wolves using crab trap lines, possibly the first recorded tool used by the species. Toronto. Toronto City Hall raised the Palestinian flag for the first time, sparking both celebration and protest. A new initiative aims to preserve Chinatown's hidden histories through digital storytelling. Jamaica. Bless up, Jamaica. Steve McLaren resigned as head coach of the Reggae Boys after a 0-0 draw with the Caracal Dash, Jamaica's direct World Cup qualifying hopes. Former Caribbean Airlines CEO Garvin Madura returned to Digicel as CEO for the Atlantic region. Montego Bay. The Montego Bay chapter of Commerce urged businesses to reopen in phases to support economic recovery after Hurricane Melissa. Red Cross officials emphasized the need for sustained international aid, calling the storm's impact unpredictable. Ocho Rios. The Ocho Rios cruise pier officially reopened, welcoming ships like the Zuridam and the MSC Divina for the first time in over a year. Councillor Hardy criticized the National Water Commission for its dependence on JPS, citing water shortages post-Melissa. Negril. Couples Resorts launched a multi-million-dollar disaster relief fund after 100 staff members lost homes to Hurricane Melissa. Postal operations resumed at the temporary location in Negril Marine Park. Bahamas. A massive fire destroyed several stalls at Arawak Caves Fish Fry, prompting calls for improved safety protocols. China donated $85,000 to support Hurricane Melissa recovery efforts. And the Bahamas launched Upskill Bahamas, a free online learning program to boost workforce development. Cayman Islands. The government announced new fee increases to fund a growing civil service, sparking public debate over fiscal sustainability. The Grand Court sanctioned a major privatization scheme for One Connect Financial, marking a milestone in the territory's financial sector. Nigeria. President Tinubu departed for the G20 summit in South Africa and the EU summit in Angola. Nigeria's foreign reserves hit $47.7 billion, the highest since 2018. And Ghana. Ghana's parliament debated the 2026 national budget, which calls for increased climate finance committees at COP30. The special prosecutor formally charged Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and several others in a high-profile corruption case. All right, on to our weather for today. New York, light rain with a high of 48 and a low of 37. Los Angeles, sunny with a high of 61 and a low of 49. Chicago, cloudy with a high of 45 and a low of 43. Atlanta, mostly cloudy, high of 76, low of 60. Houston, partly sunny, high of 80, low of 71. Washington, D.C., patchy rain possible with a high of 46 and a low of 39. Miami, dry, high of 78, low of 75. Tampa, clear skies with a high of 82 and a low of 68. Tarpon Springs, sunny with a high of 82 and a low of 63. Milwaukee, rainy and cold, high of 41, low of 33. Jackson, partly cloudy, high of 78, low of 66. Vancouver, cloudy with light winds, 9 degrees Celsius. Toronto, 5 degrees Celsius. Kingston, hot with light rain, high of 87, low of 76. Montego Bay, hot and dry, high of 80, low of 75. And Ocho Rios, Jamaica, hot with light rain, high of 80, low of 75. Negril, hot with scattered showers, high of 82, low of 77. Cayman Islands, warm with light rain, high of 80, low of 80. It's just going to be 80 all day. Bahamas, warm with light rain, with a high and low of 77. Nigeria, hot and dry, high of 84, low of 80, low of 80. And Ghana, hot and dry, with a high of 84 and a low of 77. All right, on to our sports recap. We did not have any NFL games yesterday or any today. However, in the NBA, last night's game scores are the Warriors over the Pelicans, 124 to 106. The Nets over the Wizards, 129 to 106. The Celtics, 121 over the Clippers, 121 over 118. The Kings over the Spurs, the Spurs over the Kings, 123 to 110. And we have the Rockets over the Magic in overtime, 117 to 113. The Bulls over the Jazz, 111 to 110. And the Suns over the Hawks, 107 to 101. And the Trailblazers over the Mavericks, 126 to 125 in overtime. Today's games will consist of the Rockets versus the Cavaliers at 7, the Hornets versus the Pacers at 7, the Raptors versus the 76ers at 7, the Warriors versus the Heat at 7:30, the Wizards versus the Timberwolves at 8, the Nuggets versus the Pelicans at 8, the Thunder versus the Kings at 8, the Knicks versus the Mavericks at 9:30, and the Bulls and the Trailblazers at 10, all Eastern Standard Time. All right, on to our daily feature today, Women in Business. We're giving the feature to two outstanding businesswomen today. One, Melissa Butler, and the other, Janice Bryant Howard. Our two powerhouse entrepreneurs redefining beauty and business. Their stories are rooted in resilience, innovation, and unapologetic representation. So first up, we have Melissa Butler, who is the founder and CEO of the Lip Bar. Melissa Butler didn't just launch a beauty brand, she launched a movement. A Detroit native and former Wall Street analyst, Melissa founded the Lip Bar in 2012 from her Brooklyn kitchen, frustrated by the lack of inclusive, non-toxic beauty products. Her mission, to challenge Eurocentric beauty standards and create bold vegan cosmetics for every complexion. Melissa earned her degree in business finance from Florida A&M University and worked as a licensed stockbroker before pivoting to beauty. In 2015, she pitched the Lip Bar on Shark Tank and was harshly rejected, but the exposure fueled her growth. She later secured shelf space in Target, Walmart, CVS, and Myers. The Lip Bar is now a multi-million-dollar brand with over 2,000 retail locations and a flagship store in Detroit. It's 100% woman-led and proudly Black-owned. All products are vegan, cruelty-free, and formulated with safe ingredients. The brand's tagline, maximum impact, minimal effort, speaks to its bold pigments and easy-to-use formulas. Melissa's work has been featured in Forbes, Essence, Cosmopolitan, and Fast Company. She's a vocal advocate for representation, health-conscious beauty, and economic empowerment. So everyone deserves to have representation. With it, we are left seeking validation. All right, and on to Janice Bryant Howard, founder and CEO of Act One Group. Janice Bryant Howard is the first Black woman in U.S. history to build and own a multi-billion-dollar company. Born in Torboro, North Carolina, she overcame segregation, poverty, and systematic barriers to create AC1 Group, a global staffing and HR solutions empire. One of 11 children, Janice was among the first Black students to integrate her local high school. She earned her degree from North Carolina A&T State University and moved to Los Angeles in 1976. With just $1,500 and a borrowed typewriter, she founded Act One in 1978. Her first client was Billboard magazine. Act One now generates over $2 billion in annual revenue and employs more than 1,300 people globally. Subsidiaries include Apple One, AT Tech, Agile One, and All's Well. Janice has served on the President's Board of Advisors on HBCUs, the FCC Diversity Committee, and the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. She's a champion for workplace equity, education, and women's entrepreneurship. Her books, The Art of Work and Acting Up, share philosophy. Never compromise who you are personally to become who you wish to be professionally. Quote, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to, end quote. So we give our flowers to these two powerful entrepreneurs today on Women in Business. All right, on to our book club. We're still in the reading the 48 Laws of Power. Today we are on Law 41, Avoid Stepping into Great Man's Shoes. To summarize, successors are often compared to their predecessors. To stand out, you must redefine the role and create your own legacy. So in business, if you're inheriting a role or a brand, innovate boldly. Don't mimic, evolve. Make your mark with fresh vision. And in life, you're not here to be a copy. Honor your roots, but walk your own path. Your story deserves its own spotlight. All right, on to our cause of the day. Our cause of the day, we're continuing to speak on Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week. And our segment title today is The Hidden Faces of Hunger and Homelessness. When we talk about homelessness, we rarely picture children. Yet over 1.2 million public school students in the United States experience homelessness each year. Many live in hotels, shelters, cars, or double up with other families. Hunger and housing instability disrupts their education, health, and emotional development, often in silence. So key facts, 1 in 5 homeless individuals is a child. Family homelessness is the fastest growing segment of the unhoused population. Children experiencing homelessness are twice as likely to suffer from anxiety, depression, and developmental delays. Hunger affects concentration, sleep, and behavior, making academic success nearly impossible. So what does it look like? A student who's always tired may be sleeping in a car. A child who skips lunch may be rationing food at home. A teen who avoids group projects may be hiding their living situation. These kids often go unnoticed because they're not on the streets. Excuse me. They're in classrooms, cafeterias, and after-school programs. So why does it matter? Youth homelessness is a pipeline to adult instability. Without intervention, these children face higher risk of dropping out, incarceration, and chronic poverty. But with support, they can thrive. So I call to action to you today. Support school-based programs, donate hygiene kits, advocate for trauma-informed education, ask local schools how they support unhoused students, and ask how the community can help. So resources where you can find places to help are the Schoolhouse Connection. It's an advocacy program and support for homeless youth. There's also the National Center for Homelessness Education. There are federal resources for educators and families, and the Covenant House, shelter and services for homeless teens. All these can be Googled for more information. All right, today in history, Wednesday, November 19th. In 1863, Abraham Lincoln delivers the Gettysburg Address. At the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, President Lincoln delivered one of the most iconic speeches in American history. In just 272 words, he redefined the Civil War as a struggle not just for the Union, but for the principle of human equality. In 1969, Pelé scores his 1,000th career goal. Brazilian soccer legend Pelé, hopefully I'm saying that right, scored his 1,000th goal in a match at Maracana Stadium solidifying his legacy as one of the greatest athletes of all time. The moment also was iconic, dubbed the Old Missa, I know I'm mess this up, Malissimo, meaning the 1000th. In 1990, Milli Vanilli, how many of y'all remember them? Milli Vanilli was stripped of their Grammy Award. The pop duo Milli Vanilli had their Grammy for Best New Artist revoked after it was revealed that they hadn't even sung on their album. The scandal sparked a national conversation about authenticity in the music industry and the pressures of fame. All right, on to our African American history for today. Polly Murray born in 1910. A legal scholar, poet, and activist, Murray co-founded NOW and influenced landmark civil rights cases. She was also the first Black American woman ordained as an Episcopal priest. Granville T. Wood patents electric railway conduit, yes, in 1893. Known as the Black Edison, Woods revolutionized transportation and communication with over 50 patents. And Shirley Chisholm announced his presidential run in 1971. Though not on this exact date, Chisholm's campaign gained momentum in November. She was the first Black woman to seek a major party's presidential nomination. And our African American scientists and inventors, we have first Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson. Jackson's research in particle physics led to innovations in telecommunications, including caller ID and fiber optics. She was the first Black woman to earn a PhD from MIT in her field of physics and telecommunications. We also have Dr. Ernest Everett Just. Dr. Ernest Everett Just made major contributions to cell biology and embryology, emphasizing the importance of the cell structure in development. He published extensively and taught at Howard University in the field of biology. And last but not least, we have Madam C.J. Walker. Walker created a line of hair care products for Black women and became the first self-made female millionaire in America. Her legacy includes philanthropy and business empowerment. All right, on to our Back to Roots segment for today. Our topic is the Dagagra element of fire, which is Tiba. All right, the theme is fire as transformation and ancestral communication. Grand Rising, Ray. In the Dagara tradition of Burkina Faso, fire, Tiba, is the element of transformation, vision, and spiritual communication. Fire is not just destruction, it's illumination. It's how we speak to the ancestors and receive their messages. So the tradition, like I said, is Burkina Faso. The fire keepers are called diviners, giros, and spiritual elders. So modern reflection, lighting a candle, burning herbs, or sitting by a flame can be a sacred act. Fire reminds us that to release what no longer serves us, and to ignite our purpose. So the affirmation for this segment is: I carry the flame of my lineage. I bury away fear and rise in clarity. All right, our fact or fiction segment today. The claim we're talking about today is, quote, we only use 10% of our brains, end quote. So that actually is fiction. The theory is it was popularized by motivational speakers in sci-fi films. This myth suggests we have vast untapped mental potential and that unlocking it could lead to superhuman abilities. So how did this rumor spread? It gained traction in the early 20th century and was reinforced by pop culture, including movies like Lucy and Limitless. So the truth is, neuroscience shows that nearly all parts of the brain are active throughout the day. Even during sleep, the brain remains highly engaged. The 10% myth is of interpretation of early neurological studies. So why it matters? While it's inspiring to believe in hidden genius, this myth can lead to unrealistic expectations and products. Real growth comes from effort, not magic switches. So we do use all of our brain all the time. So it's not like we have this that other the other 90% is just going to miraculously make us all geniuses. No, unfortunately not. And I have to say honestly, I don't think people use but 10% of their brain, because some people just don't have common sense some days, sometimes, or ever, depending on who they are. Tell you honestly. Now, we had a comment brought to the radio station's attention, and I wanted to address it because I'm quite sure other people might be wondering the same thing. So I'm going to call this segment "What's the Word?" Is where we're going to spotlight our audience's questions, concerns, and takes on some particular topic. So today I chose Hurricane Melissa, of course, but also not only the damage that it did to Jamaica, but people are also concerned about the damage it also did to Cuba. So Hurricane Melissa caused catastrophic damage to both Jamaica and Cuba, but Jamaica received more global spotlight due to its direct Category 5 landfall, historic impact, and media accessibility. Cuba suffered extensive flooding and infrastructure loss, but coverage was more limited due to political and logistical constraints. So, pertaining to Jamaica, a direct hit and historic devastation. Melissa made landfall in Jamaica as a Category 5 hurricane with sustained winds of up to 185 miles an hour, breaking the record set by Hurricane Gilbert in 1988. Damage included total destruction in towns like Black River, widespread power outages, collapsed buildings, and landslides. The UN called it damage on a level never seen before. Every region in the island was affected, with Prime Minister Andrew Holness stating there's no single soul untouched. Airports were shut down and relief flights only resumed days later. International aid mobilized quickly, including U.S. search and rescue teams and UN food drops. So for Cuba, severe flooding and infrastructure collapse. Cuba was struck hours after Jamaica, with Melissa still powerful but slightly weakened. Eastern provinces like Santiago de Cuba and Polygon, I know I'm not saying that right, saw severe structural damage, crop loss, and flooding from over 2 feet of rain. Bridges, dams, roads, and energy grids were heavily impacted, with 750,000 people forced into shelters overnight. Coastal areas were inundated, and recovery logistics were complicated by Cuba's centralized emergency response and limited international media access. So why Jamaica got more spotlight? Direct Category 5 landfall made Jamaica's impact more dramatic and historically significant. Media access and international partnerships allowed faster reporting and visual documentation. Jamaica's global cultural footprint and tourism ties meant more international concern and coverage. Cuba's political climate and restricted press access limited real-time reporting and foreign aid visibility. So that is the reason why Cuba did not get as much coverage in the media as Jamaica, to answer your question and concern. All right, on to our tech tip of today. Edge AI notebooks. AI-enabled laptops with local processing. AI notebooks are going mainstream. By 2025, over 21% of laptops will feature onboard AI chips capable of handling tasks like voice recognition, image classification, and predictive typing, all without cloud access. Edge AI improves speed, privacy, and energy efficiency. Users can run AI tasks locally, reducing latency and protecting sensitive data. So a journalist can transcribe interviews, summarize articles, and organize notes, all offline using an AI onboard. So this tech is transforming productivity, especially in remote work, healthcare, and education, where privacy and performance are critical. Our finance tip of the day is bank like a business, even if you're a freelancer. So separate your personal and business finances. Whether you're selling candles, editing resumes, or running a full LLC, open a dedicated business checking account. Track income, expenses, and taxes separately. It's cleaner, safer, and more professional. So why does it work? You'll avoid tax headaches, qualify for business credits, and build a financial identity that lenders respect. So use accounting apps like Wave or QuickBooks to automate your bookkeeping and prep for tax season. All right, our fun fact of the day. I know my sister's been waiting on this, so I just am so happy to bring it to you and answer this question for you, sis. And this topic is curly fries. So curly fries are made by spiral cutting starchy potatoes, coating them with seasoned batter, and frying them twice for a signature crisp twist. So factory style curly fry production. First, they got to select the potatoes. Factories use starchy potatoes like russets for a fluffy interior and crispy shell. Spiral cutting. Potatoes are pushed through a rotating spiral cutter that slices them into tight coils. So, and how they sort them is broken pieces are removed. The spirals are blanched in hot water or steamed to start cooking and remove surface starch. So fries are dried with warm air, then coated with a seasoned batter, often with paprika, garlic, onion powder, and cornmeal for that signature orange crunch. They're partially fried to set the shape, then blast frozen for storage and shipping. So then at home or in restaurants, they're fried again from frozen to achieve that crispy outside and tender inside. So how do you make those curly fries at home? Use a spiralizer or curly fry cutter to shape peeled russet potatoes. Soak the spirals in cold water for 5 to 10 minutes to remove excess starch. Dry thoroughly, then coat with a seasoned flour or cornstarch batter. Deep fry or bake until golden brown and crisp. So that answers your question, sis. Now we can make them at home. All right, on to our fun holiday of the day. It's International Men's Day. So the theme is positive masculinity and global brotherhood. Yay! International Men's Day highlights the importance of men's health, emotional well-being, and positive role models. It's a day to celebrate fathers, brothers, mentors, and friends, and to challenge harmful stereotypes about masculinity. So how do we celebrate? We check in with the men in our life, emotionally and physically, share stories of men who uplift their communities, and encourage open conversations about men's health and vulnerability. So strong doesn't mean silent. Today we honor men who lead with heart, healing, and humility. All right, on to our daily quote today, which comes from Maya Angelou. Quote, normal isn't overrated. Be bold, be brilliant, and be you. End quote. Angelou's wisdom celebrates individuality and the courage to stand out. It's a reminder that greatness lives outside the lines and that authenticity is power. All right, on to our music and entertainment. First up, we have National Black Storytelling Festival opens in Atlanta. The 43rd Annual National Black Storytelling Festival and Conference kicks off in Atlanta, celebrating traditions, youth tellers, and African American oral history from November 19th to the 23rd. Also, we have Issa opens up about her career stagnation. In a recent interview, Issa shared her feelings of creative stagnation post Insecure, sparkling conversation about Black women navigating Hollywood's expectations. And we also have Drake faces copyright lawsuit over album visuals. Photographer Gabrielle Galbranetti filed a lawsuit against Drake, alleging unauthorized use of his work in the visuals for What Did I Miss, raising questions about artistic ownership. All right, in celebrity gossip, we have Lotto sparks pregnancy rumors with new photos. Fans speculate that rapper Lotto is expecting her first child with 21 Savage after recent photos show her cradling her stomach. Neither artist has confirmed the news. And Drake again. Drake responds to old rumor involving T.I. associate. Drake addressed a resurfaced rumor that he was urinated on during a party altercation years ago, saying, "Nah, man, never pissed on me," in a now viral comment. Boy, he always in something, ain't he? All right, and we got Karen Huger returns to our HOP, opens up about addiction. The grand dame of Real Housewives of Potomac returns in a mid-season trailer, revealing she's ready to discuss her past struggles with addiction. Fans are praising her vulnerability. All right, in our celebrity birthdays today, we have Tyga. Who's a rapper. He is 36 years old today. We also have Jodie Turner-Smith, who's an actress who played in Queen and Slim. She turns 39. And Little Mosi, who's also a rapper, turns 23. All right, on to our lifestyle segment today. Our soul food recipe of the day. Sorry about that. Our soul food recipe of today is Creole shrimp and grits with coconut milk. Okay. So it's a lighter twist on a classic. Creamy coconut grits topped with spicy shrimp, bell peppers, and scallions. All right. Also, our beverage of the day is cucumber mint detox water. That sounds good. And onto our men's health tip. Prioritize prostate screenings after 40 men. Black men are at high risk of prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives. Talk to your doctor. Go to the doctor, please. Women's health tip of the day is we also know to practice our breast self-awareness exams every day. Not every day, but especially after the age of 40. So make sure after the age of 40, you're scheduling your mammograms yearly if needed. Or I think it's like you're supposed to have one, is it every 3 years? Something like that. So I would definitely check in on that. All right. In relationship tips for couples, try a silent walk together. Now, what that means is walk side by side without talking for 10 minutes. Then share what you've noticed. It builds presence and intimacy. All right. Also with friendships, in friendship tip today, create a shared playlist. Collaborate on a playlist that reflects your friendship, like old songs, old school jams, inside jokes, or just new finds. And co-workers relationship tip, offer to cover someone's break. If a teammate looks overwhelmed or tired, step in and take over their 15-minute break for them. And in family, start a gratitude jar. Each person adds one note a week. Read them together at the end of the month. Our household chore of the day is vacuum under furniture. Move the couches, beds, and chairs to clean hidden dust and debris. Because believe me, it's where you least expect it. All right, on to our daily horoscopes. First up, we got Aries. You're feeling restless. Channel the energy into a bold, creative move. Your lucky color today is flame orange, and your lucky numbers are 7, 18, and 35. Taurus. A financial review brings clarity. Revisit your budget and trim the excess. Your lucky color today is moss green, and your lucky numbers are 2, 13, and 29. Gemini, your charm is magnetic today. Use it to build bridges, not just buzz. Your lucky color today is periwinkle, and lucky numbers 5, 10, and 22. Cancer, you're craving comfort. Honor that with a ritual that soothes your soul. Your lucky color today is soft blue, and lucky numbers are 6, 14, and 28. Leo, you're in the spotlight, but don't forget to share it. Collaboration wins today. Your lucky color today is marigold, and your lucky numbers are 1, 9, and 27. Virgo, details matter, but don't lose the big picture. Zoom out and breathe. Your lucky color today is dusty rose, and your lucky numbers are 3, 12, and 30. Libra, a relationship needs recalibration. Speak with honesty and listen with grace. Your lucky color today is lilac, and lucky numbers are 4, 11, and 26. Scorpio, your instincts are sharp, but don't let suspicion cloud connection. Your lucky color is today is black, and your lucky numbers are 8, 17, and 31. Sagittarius, you're ready to explore, even if it's just a new book or mindset. Your lucky color today is indigo, and your lucky numbers are 6, 15, and 33. Capricorn, discipline pays off, but today reward yourself for the grind. Your lucky color today is steel gray, and your lucky numbers are 2, 10, and 25. Aquarius, your ideas are ahead of your time, but share them anyway. Your lucky color today is neon green, and your lucky numbers are 7, 19, and 28. Pisces, you're emotionally tuned in. Use that gift to support someone quietly struggling. Your lucky numbers are 5, 13, and 32. All right, on tomorrow's show, it's going to be Throwback Thursday. So we'll be honoring movements, matriarchs, and the rituals that keep us grounded. We're blending the memories with momentum. So at this time, I would like to say thank you to our sponsors, Bellow Burn Hot Sauce, add some fire to your plate. RAS Herbals, Heal Natural, Live Vibrant. And Clarion Candles, where peace meets scent. All right, so I would be saying this is my midweek check-in. You are still that one. If the week's been heavy, shake it off and strut on forward. You've got the vision, the vibe, and the voice. Now, go make Wednesday wish it could keep up. So until tomorrow morning, this is your girl Mell B saying stay fly, stay grounded, and don't let no one, dim your shine. Period.